with that, the Auroraverse returns. Hello everybody, welcome to the stream today. My name is SenseiSuplex, and today I am out of focus once more. Hiya! Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. I hope you guys are ready for an awesome epic session of Secrets in the Sands. Today we're going to be having all of the players except for one, as we are still going to be missing a Phoebe Morga or a Phoebe, also known as Night Raven. I'm going to try to adjust this friggin' focus in a bit, but it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, we got an RP session today, so I hope you guys are ready for all of that. Do you have any announcements? No announcements besides this. So Sunday, Monday. So we got this session, and then next session we're going to, or next week and all that stuff. The 6th, or excuse me, the 5th through the 8th. We're going to have those sessions and all that stuff, but the week of the 12th through the 15th, we will not be having any sessions, as I will take that break week off, especially since that's going to be my birthday week, and I'm probably going to be hanging out with a lot of family over the course of that. So keep that in mind for the future. So it's going to be this session and next session, and those will be it until we take our break. Alrighty, that's all we got. Also, we're going to be having a no face cam stream today, as we're going to be doing a little bit more of a chill thing with everybody kind of just off cams for the time being. Obviously, you'll see my face, so that will still be there. All right, everybody, let's swap on over and let's see what everybody is up to. Everybody's ready to play the game. Okay. I got to adjust my camera a little bit. Let's do that a little bit. All right, good enough for me. All right, let's do this. Here. You. All right. Let's see. Oh, did Max is going to the what do you call it? Their you got it. Alrighty. Okie dokie. Wait, so is he gonna be is he gonna be RP mode, just theater of the mind talking? Yes. Okay. Alright, easy enough. Alright, let me grab this sort of thing. Everybody is also loaded into Foundry, right?
I am.
Yep. I'm in.
Affirmative.
Let's do this. Alrighty. So I forgot to do that sort of thing. That's fine. I was just thinking about one of the announcements, but it's okay. Alright, let me pull this little thing up and let's get this started. And play. Where is my Google Chrome? Where is my Google Chrome? There it is. Alright, let's do this. So, if I could have each and every one of you all gather around the table, and let me tell you all a Voden fable. Gather around for the tale of these survivors, for this is the fable of the looming corruption, and that of the mysteries within. This is a tale of the secrets within the sands, and the legendary tale of the soul bound. Be here. Our heroes would be caught in the heaps of battle and war. With our heroes escaping the astral shackles, however, they'd begin to look out for one another in this strange cave, trying to seek them, trying to find them, but eventually they would be separated for a time and finding one another in the likes of Ilva, Sirius, Zale, and even the likes of Krelin. However, the two individuals who would not be found would be the likes of Misery and Phoebe, as they would be taken one by the likes of the Keeper. And as the rest of our heroes would reconvene and collect themselves, the heroes would reflect on what they saw and what had happened over the past couple of events, or past couple of days. However, the Keeper would arrive once more and begin to get the likes of Sirius's attention and bestow upon him a grand quest. Sirius would be requested to aid the 7 souls in the Taiga in battle, conveying that conveying that their souls had been severed and their spirits would need to be reformed. In doing so, he'd convey this to the likes of the party, and he'd accept the Keeper Cast's or Keeper Camino's request and return shortly after. With their forces and strength restored, eventually our heroes would march into the last room of this cave, finding several scorpions and elementals corrupted alongside other water weirdlings. The time for battle was now, but ultimately our heroes would reign victorious. Our heroes would gain their weapons and begin to ride off with their new loot, with the water weirdlings in hand, as well as a new friendly mount in Gronk. However, as they begin to return back to their home, what will be left? What will be sought? And will their home be exactly the way they left it? We'll have to find out in session 23 of Soulbound: Secrets in the Sands. With that, my friends, we'll pick back up exactly where we left off. Alright. So, let me swap over scenes, and let me show you guys exactly where you will be. Oh, it'd probably be helpful to bring this over here. One moment. Alright. I'm gonna start us off over here. Enough. And let me swap over towards this. Please stop, and please play. And please repeat all. So, as we return to the likes of our heroes, you all begin to ride atop of the animalistic dinosaur and prehistoric beast in the likes of Gronk. As you begin to do so, you look over and you see as the sky above, in typical Voden fashion, you notice as it begins to crack, it begins to tear and break and shatter like glass. You see as the astral particle, the astral pieces begin to almost flock and drop down towards the ground and more. You see as the entire area is coated in starlight before eventually fading off into the distance. And with that, night falls upon you all. You look over and about and you have a decent bit of travel to sort of get done. Not too long, but enough to the point where you have a bit of time to yourselves to reflect, talk amongst one another. Looking around and about, you do see as Gronk, the ancient Ankylosaurus dinosaur, he's moving at a very much a hastened pace due to the likes of Sirius and their mark, as well as feeding them multiple mana crystals. With that, every last one of you, Freelan, Sirius, Ilva, and Zale, you look up towards the sky and you see as a massive amount of sort of stars beginning to fall, shooting across the sky. What seemed to be almost a little small meteor shower. You see as it begins to soar across the skies of Voden and more. And as they do, look towards one individual, connoisseur of stars, an individual who seeks to study them. Sirius, what are you doing in this moment in time as you're riding atop of Gronk with the rest of your allies and companions, witnessing this sort of meteor shower or these shooting stars flying by?
Noticing the meteor shower, Sirius immediately takes attention to it, and would Sirius understand the meanings behind what a meteor shower would be?
Yes,
would it
you
have
would.
any special meaning?
Any special meaning? Not much. It is definitely a spectacle of events. No necessary meaning, but probably at most... Probably at most that there are a lot of sort of spirits active. They seem to be radiant with energy at most. A lot of sort of, how you say, not necessarily positive omens, but possibly good things, or more so eventful things to come. At most that, but not much more meaning than those sort of things.
Noticing that, I look to the rest of my companions, riding atop Gronk, and say, "This is a nice spectacle to have, at least. We're on a journey back." And it's nighttime, correct?
Yeah, it is nighttime.
Okay.
You'll have to repeat that.
Yeah, you were a little bit lagging a bit.
Sorry, what was that, Ducky?
You'll have to repeat that.
Okay. It is a nice spectacle to see the meteor shower.
Is it actually a meteor shower, or is it something more ominous, do you think? The only reason I ask is the starry ones kind of look like the night sky.
You give it another moment or two, and hopefully we live through it.
So much confidence.
One can hope. But with all that has happened, and the knowledge we gained, do you think we should move forward with maybe exploring what is beyond our horizons? With this,
Ooh. What do you mean for our horizons?
with this Ragnarok event apparently already coming to a start, it just brings more worry to me. It just shows that there's so much happening around us. Maybe we should see what's beyond just our oasis, or what's beyond our, I don't want to say minor concerns, but concerns that are just more so in proximity to us.
I guess it depends on what route we want to go, or if it's something that only maybe some of us want to look into. It's tough to say with everything happening around us what's going to happen today or what's going to happen tomorrow. And in the grand scheme of things, of what this Ragnarok is, I don't know. It's just tired of higher beings, I suppose, causing trouble for everyone like you and me, or families, or strangers, just for the sake of their own potentially petty squabbles. I don't know what kickstarted this, or if this was in something that was built up over time, but I'm not too sure what to do at this very moment. Everything feels like it's kind of crashing down around us.
It almost feels that way when maybe when it slowly became more apparent, when we came, where we just settled here. But after that, I think with all things that are happening now, and if the gods among us are at some other pattern and it affects us, do we intervene? Can we intervene?
I've thought about before. I've thought about what I would do if I had the opportunity. The idea of making a world a better place, although these were mostly on where we're from, Tahiri. But while being on Voden, knowing and feeling that their nonsense reaches even this place. Who knows how far their influence reaches, how many more people are affected by their choices that they decide to do. At one point I tried and considered to see if there was something that can be used against them, something to fight back with. there is something back home that may be useful, but it's just will that be enough? Is the question. Speaking of enough, actually, the astral myrmidon water weird thing you had pulled out its crystal. What is your intended purpose for it?
Watching that creature move about and noticing that it's in layman's terms still had a bit of fight in them. A fight, you know. I would like to experiment on this crystal, to see how maybe if there's is a continuous effect being inflicted by the starry ones. Is it like a curse, a disease? Can it be refreshed? Can it be harnessed? I would like to know more about our adversaries in this matter.
Do you wish to review this yourself or with the queen?
If Queen Statara would know something, I would think it would help us all to gather information from her.
Might I suggest something if you're going that route?
Yes, of course.
I find the curiosity of this crystal intriguing. I feel like it could be either a stepping stone or something useful. But as it is now, not if it becomes, for a lack of a better term, fixed as it once was. I think it being from a starry one and the crystal inhibits that notion, it might be wise to maybe just ask for information from the queen rather than showing her the crystal, because what you said might prove true. Maybe we can utilize it for either offensive or defensive measures for conflicts yet to come.
I would consider that it's impressive.
We didn't hear that, Animus.
I
Lagging.
guess it. Oh, wait, give me a second. Oh, how about now?
See if you're like downloading something on Steam or something in the background.
I have nothing in the background besides this and mod mode.
Now we're good.
Okay, yeah, Discord is showing. But yes. Yes, that is great advice. Thank you.
I would like to research this with you together if that's possible.
Yes, I would like that. And I am not really inclined with arcane studies. I've been taught a few things, so most of my knowledge will come just based on the magical ley lines of the land itself. So I would maybe think, I think Spinestep was his name, the draconic fellow with the machinery. He might help us in these endeavors.
He might be able to. there was also an individual that I was in another party with long ago that was able to use necrotic magic to bring back the dead, and was able to do so in success. I had shown him a key thing of something that we found, and we were looking into maybe enhancing it for self-preservation means. I felt his presence on Voden.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a presence I felt, along with another compatriot that I used to be with. So it might be beneficial to reach out, which I can do when we get some rest. So we won't have to travel there, but maybe with the help of Spine Snap and this individual, plus our own knowledge of the arcane and magic, we might be able to utilize something that will be beneficial for us here defensively or offensively.
Don't want to interrupt, but there would be one thing that you gotta make sure that at least this does happen. You would see as up ahead, or kind of like circling amongst Gronk, a little bit of a sort of astral vortex and swirl beginning to form. You all know this, pretty familiar at this point, as you'd see slowly forming up would be the Keeper. Don't want to let, like, exclude Matt being able to sort of add on to this, right? But you would eventually see as the Keeper would begin to slowly form as Keeper Camino would look over towards you. You'd see as they do have an individual, as their form begins to slowly apparate and appear, the red hooded individual, large in size, but they'd see as Sirius and Ilva are having a conversation. They'd try to like make as much of a small entrance and not interrupt, but they would unfurl the cloak, and you'd see as off the corner of both of your eyes, you would see as another individual would begin to emerge. That individual, the likes of the Shatterkai Paladin and Misery. As this sort of happens, you will see as the Keeper doesn't immediately begin to leave, as they have something to sort of explain to you, or say at least to you all, but they play back a little bit and let you guys continue as Misery joins in and Sirius and Nova continue their conversation. Misery, you can kind of overhear what they're sort of talking about. It's not too far away.
Hello again, Misery.
It's good to see you.
Misery is going to rub her right eye a little bit and blink, and she's going to say, "Last I recall, I was rushing deep into the cave, and I step out, and where are we?"
We are on a good long track right now and heading back to our home.
I'm sorry, what? She's going to look down and look up.
You see as you look down and look up, you notice as you're sort of rocking and shaking as you are on top of Gronk at the moment, the giant Ankylosaurus from before.
Oh, marvelous. This is significantly much better than being underneath the creature's feet.
Yes. But yes, kind of slowly going back to I don't know, this is it's for one thing. If we were continue to maybe like I suggested again, broaden our horizons with what's going on in Voden. I think we might need to have a little more communal structure for our homestead to both put ease and to understand, well, not to understand, but also to set expectations and the word escapes me right now. I am so sorry.
Damn, really? Right as I come back.
Expectation and what
I
was the
understand what
word?
you mean, Siri.
Yeah, Animus slap. Get it together. Get it together.
He's breaking! Get it together, Animus stat!
Where's my thesaurus? I'm sorry.
This is going well.
Yeah, thesaurus kind of whatever word equivalates to stability and that thing. Yes, we should come up with something in the lines of that for maybe future wanderers, lost souls, even.
I concur with that. And we don't know how long we'll be here for, if we can even go back home permanently. I feel like we're at a point where we have enough souls around us that it would probably be best to lay out some groundwork and set expectations for, as you said, other weary wanderers approaching, or even if we come across perhaps another group of individuals, or maybe like an organization like how the Queen is with her water weirds. It would be beneficial to stand and look the part versus seemingly look disorganized and without purpose. If we're looking to grow and have the expectation of that, I think perhaps we should focus on additional lodging to accommodate anyone that might come in or go, and perhaps set up a proper structure to like a housing district, just like a city in Tahiri would. God knows where Bovi's been, but I think if individuals had a place where they could rest, we could maybe keep them on board with things that we are able to provide them.
Yes, and with that, Sirius would kind of look towards the rest of his companions and say, I am not really one to really know about civilization or structure in the form of laws, but some of you have most of that experience. I would like to know if you have any say or positions you might think you're best suited for in this.
A good rule to start off is don't be a dick. That's a pretty good rule. Don't be hostile to others, otherwise, how are we gonna grow if you're just being a dickwad?
Yes.
Beautifully said.
Thank
Yes.
you, I try. I just woke up from like a snooze. I don't really know what happened for the past 5 minutes. I don't know, it's weird. I was like dazed, and I don't even know.
Well, it's just like Meteor Shower, and we have Misery.
And hi, Misery.
Misery is going to nod, and she's going to extend her arm out, and of course, from wherever they're located, the three three ravens, Poe, King, and Shelly, are going to land upon her arm and then bounce their way to her shoulders, and she is going to just kind of stand there with her halberd and sort of watch and listen.
While this is sort of happening, just out of curiosity's sake, what is Creelan also doing at this time? Are they sort of just perched up, sort of listening, or are they doing something specific?
I'm perched up listening, but I'm also having a fascination with this new trident. So on top of my perch, I'm going to stand up and just kind of do a couple pokes in the air and keep my balance and try to figure out the best ways to use a trident, which is slightly different than a spear and a quarterstaff. So just doing some exploratory attacks very lightly.
Enough.
I guess Misery's just going to say, well, I know a little bit about, I would say, more military-based organizations. However, I have no frame of reference of your settlement. This would be the first time that I would be seeing it once we arrive. So, allow me to simply stand by and get to understand what sort of settlement this is.
Yeah, yes, of course. And if you being bearing a mark, I would say, well, not really much of your bad mark, but also I would like to know if you have any concerns or expectations or any ideas that you would like to contribute. You would like to hear your voice.
And I'll be sure to speak up once I have a strong enough opinion to offer. I appreciate the invitation.
Seeing Creelan kind of just, I imagined him like one of the monkeys in Oz, just kind of like just stabbing things in the air. I don't know why the image is in my head, but I kind of just, Creelan, if I may.
And then you'll see me spin the trident around, flip it in the sheath in my back. Ah, yes. And I'll fly up over to Sirius.
What? You do have a keen sense of hearing, but I would like to just reconfirm that we are maybe discussing having a little more structure in our home, and maybe seeing amongst our group here, and hopefully when Phoebe gets back, she can have some input. What our specialties could be, and what can we helm and are better suited for expanding on. Whether that be for Misery, she just explained that she has more militaristic ideas. You can help with sort of maybe defense systems. For myself, I can help with just general infrastructure, or I don't know if maybe you have to look into that as well for myself. But is there anything you would offer to this?
I only have life experience in two areas, which is bounty hunting and tracking those and dispatching those who have lost their way, and martial training. Lots of time in the monastery training. So I know that's not warfare, but could be some sort of relationship between training and warfare. I'd rather my combat be individual.
In fact, have you ever actually, I seen that, I remember seeing you and Zelda kind of going to maybe some sort of regiment.
Oh.
Are you inclined to being a teacher of maybe some sort of defensive maneuverings?
Offensive. See, they normally teach defensive moves first, but that's not the purpose of the training. It's to defend long enough to survive any surprise attack, but be skilled enough to take the opponent down. I just wonder if you mean defense a more gentler way than I come to expect. It will not be that if I teach it.
Well,
Um,
first off, you can maybe don't do a flurry of punches on the first lesson towards them. How about that? Maybe just teach them to block 1 punch instead of your usual 4.
That's maybe fair. The regiment of defensive training was quite harsh. Yes, they can be flexible.
But you would consider training, though.
And then you'll see like Kreelin look up and just stare out into the distance for like 4 seconds. And he'll snap back. Bird head twist, absolutely.
My opinion, I'm much more of the sink or swim type. If they can't accept the full barrage of blows, then they are less likely to take the full barrage of blows when it really matters. But everybody has to be eased into it, I guess.
I think that's something that the two of you can maybe collaborate on. Misery, to also explain the idea, we have been invaded by the starting ones that we've kind of that we fought against before, and we never really know when or where they can spawn upon us. So this could at least help save a few of us.
Well, that sounds like a lovely problem to have. Well, if we're talking about collaborating on the training, I would simply ask Kreelin not to ambush me like he had before.
He
We'll
has
have
a
to discuss that.
tendency to do that during training. I remember vividly. Just turn to Kreelin. Really? Under my bed?
More importantly, though, they do share opposing marks.
Oh, right. I said, how did that go?
Oh,
It didn't
well,
go.
let's just say that it was a sportful match between myself and Kreelin to a certain point of potential demise of one or the other. However, I am open to differing opinions on it. I would just prefer that if I'm going to trust someone, that at least in the heat of trying to rely upon one another for camaraderie and for the sake of combat against a greater foe, that I don't have to worry about getting punched in the face in the middle of it.
Sears kind of stoppers off and looks down a bit, but it perks up again, and that's more of, I would say, out of the elements of maybe the relationship you could possibly have. That it's more so again for it. We explained the first meeting, Kieran's mark has somehow it maybe influenced him. Yes, influence him to be antagonistic towards betters of the Purple Square. Again, we don't really understand why, but it was no animosity towards you as yourself, is it?
For transparency, much of my training for the sake of serving the Raven Queen was to keep awareness at all times and to expect attack at the most vulnerable of times. This is not necessarily anything new, but it is somewhat unexpected outside of the Netherine Order. And, well, I don't, as Creelin here seems to be quite aware of the ways of other individuals, allow me to say that I am still trying to understand Creelin's way.
Krillin is a. You can go ahead first.
Oh no, sorry.
Krillin is a capable fighter. He awoke with us when we were encased here. I think both his and your militaristic ways could prove useful for not only where we are in these lands, but also maybe provide insight to others who will come. But the way things are now, if you two are to work together, we have to deal with one of you guys' marks, but you guys can't be left alone as present as that cave showed us. We can't let that happen again. And while I'm not too sure if this will help, I will, when we get to camp, I will construct something that may help us keep our anonymous outlook and have prying eyes not so prying. But I don't know if that will completely stop or help the influence from taking over. So a conversation might have to be had even after on what to do with this black mark on Krillin's hand.
Ilva, I'm getting the greater sense that this whole business with the marks and trying to not let certain forces leverage and interfere in our business is a practice in futility. That's what it is beginning to sound like.
If I may, I forgot to really mention, and Sirius kind of looks down, and you on that point, you, for those that haven't really seen, Sirius before had like long sleeves covering his arms, but one of them is literally like as if something has ripped it off, and where those who know where the blue swirl is, it is up to the hand to the forearm. It is covered in blue swirls. It seems my mark has gone through some sort of effects.
I
And
would say this though. Your the blue swirls, it is still going up the forearm, but as you've just used it, you'd notice it's kind of doing that. But also, as the minutes are sort of passing by, the blue swirls are slowly fading from your forearm and returning over the hand and then back towards the palm. It seems to be that whenever you activate it, it begins to sort of spiral out of control. But when it's inert, not necessarily working or doing anything, it returns back to its dormant state.
okay, never mind then. For that, I just got a fucked up sleeve then, and
Not your sleeve.
It's kind of like, yeah, you just look like a Dragon Ball Z character. It's like after the fight, right?
fucked my Gochi over. Yes. And he'll hold up his mark and say, my mark has gone through some sort of enhancements or some minor transformations. And also, when we were in the cave and I was sended away by the entrance, I've made contact with, I believe, one of the dragon sages. Deimos was his name. It was water, the stars. I'm really unable to get a sense of my surroundings, but during that time, I was offered to give up something in order to help one of you. And mind you, I have an uncanny knack for remembering things, even for a long period of time. But after I came to, I don't remember something that I feel like I really should.
Similar to
do?
how when you say the awful word.
Yes, I seem to have slipped up with saying it before. But I didn't really have the effect of losing something at that time. Maybe was able to
Sirius,
withstand whatever effects. I'm sorry. Yes.
you met one too? When you're describing your thing, it sounds very similar to my thing. You know, when I got taken, Dragon Sage appeared, looked really cool. It offered me to give something up to help someone. I did. And now I can't remember it. Yeah, I offered it and I can't remember it, but you know, if it was a memory, I barely have any to give, so it's not really that big of a deal.
When you guys when you guys disappeared, and I went through the barrier to get to Krillin and Misery, I tried to forcefully take Krillin's mark, and in the process of doing so, I overheard two voices, two sages, one who I assume is the one behind the black mark. I could sense desperation, but also absolution in the fact that their words were, they truly believed was the only way. Unfortunately, I don't have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you finish?
I was just gonna say, unfortunately, as this was more of a quick moment in time and only a brief glimpse to what context or overarching resolution that they wanted, I'm not too sure.
As you'd be saying this, you'd see as Keeper Camino, who's been just sort of standing here watching, observing, listening to all of this, they would begin to say towards what you said. Yes, the Sage of the Black Star, they are definitely a bit stubborn in their ideals, but also they are convinced that it is the correct path, the only way. As helpful as it would be to tell you anything about this, I sadly do not know. They are above me and they are my superiors. They keep their true motives, their murmurings about amongst themselves.
But you know enough that you know that this sage has differing opinions of at least one of them. Is it all of them? Is it kind of like one sage versus them all, or is it something that's dividing them in half?
Well, your souls are at least powerful enough to learn this information. The most I could say is The Sage of the Black Star, they... Well, hold on. Make sure I got this right. Yeah, he would only know this extent. The Black Star Sage, they, their methods, their motives are a little bit more what others would refer to as harsh. But they didn't necessarily see eye to eye with the sage that represented that mark, and they'll point towards Misery. The purple square, that sage they did not have an agreement with. Now, in doing so, the others, well, the thing with it, once the forgotten sage, well, forgotten, and the other ones, not even myself, know who they were, what they were about, what they stood for, and more. We do not know if their ideals were, and we'll use like air quotes, evil, or whether they were justified. We do not know. They are forgotten and we cannot answer or ask them any questions. We know that something existed, but who knows who or what they were.
Do you know what caused this?
In relation to what?
To why they might have been forgotten? That their kin would forget them?
Well, this is the only last sort of question I can. It says the damned sages sort of will that we can only answer so much at a time, but if you're, and make sure I got this right, Ducky, you're referring to why they would be forgotten, so like why cosmic death would happen?
Yeah, I just want to know like why this person is gone and they can't remember.
Gotcha. To put this, I will try to put this as simply as I possibly can. For you, Soulbound, this is not a name that was without reason. You all, from Zale to Misery, Sirius, Kreelin, Nova, all of these marked ones. You are what we would refer to as echoes. Echoes of a singular soul, or spirit, if you will. Essentially, individuals of powerful magics. Astral magic specifically. Something similar to the divine, but past that, if you will. These individuals would be able to find your souls, not your echoes, but your essence, your souls, your living being that connects you to the living realm. They would find it. They would... I hate using this word, and I do very much apologize, but they would corrupt it until it is nothing more. Taking all of the most negative aspects of them that every mortal being would possess, and exploiting it until its eventual self-destruction. With that, you would be erased from, well, existence itself. Your very well-being would cease to be forgotten as there are no inklings left from this self-destruction. This is capable of souls and echoes, but such a powerful magic is even capable of affecting the sages. Does this answer your question?
It does.
Now, on the subject of souls before I disperse, it is my duty from, well, the first, to reward those who have a more active and energetic soul, if you will, whatever you want to refer to it as. In doing so, they have asked me to bestow a boon upon select individuals. Future boons for the others will be in accordance, but for now, this is all I can bestow. we'll see as Keeper Camino will look over towards Sirius, Ova, and Zale. And as they begin to do so, they will begin to hold out a bit of their hand, kind of exactly like in the art. And you'll see as this sort of purple light begins to start swirling, changing to green and blues before it disperses into a bit of starlight. As it begins to do so, the starlight clings to each and every one of you. With that, Ova, Sirius, and Zale, you guys get DM's inspiration.
Another one to the pile.
There you go. Just racking them up, bro. Racking them up. As this sort of happens, they will look over. Krillin, Misery. Yours is coming. I see. You're doing very well. But in time, my friends, in time. Now... Oh, good.
If I cannot get nothing now, a simple question, and you'll see Krillin reach back, grab the trident on his side, grab the scimitar, hold them both up. Which is better?
Wow. So you're just holding up all your weapons like, hey, yo, pick for me, please.
Yeah.
Yeah!
You know. And you said you have a trident, a scimitar, and what else? Make sure I got this right.
That's all I have right now.
Okay.
My quarterstaff met a fate long ago with the bird.
Okay. This is a funny answer. This is the Keeper Camino as they're slowly turning into an astral light and getting ready to disperse. Oh. The trident. Too many people, or too many souls use swords.
He said swords are made. Confirmed.
I think I'm getting an echo call right now.
But regardless, I wish you the best of luck. And Ilva, when you get the chance, you may want to. Not immediately. Finish what you are doing, please. But when you are done, you may want to look towards that. And you'll see as he points, and all of you kind of look over to see as Ova's mark, the white mark of what seems to be a smaller circle with another circle and a triangle attached to it. It seems to be sort of glowing, pulsing for a bit. And as you all focus on it, you look over towards Keeper Camino and it's already gone.
I bet you Batman means.
Oh, there's a trick in the book. How did I fall for that?
Well, if I had any suspicions that we were all that we were all implemented in some sort of game, that is now my confirmation.
That is the same conclusion I came to when we woke here.
I don't know whether to be encouraged or depressed.
Maybe a bit of both. Both destroyed.
Interesting. And you'll see me sheath the scimitar and spin around the trident.
Well, silver lining as it is, I would rather die of passion than boredom. And at least this is not boring.
That's one thing it is not.
So, since we're all here, and I'm not hearing any more conversations going on, unless you want to continue something else, we could listen to my little thing as he'll point to his palm, aka his triangle.
Yes.
It's been, like, how long since we were in there? You know, they must have said something by now.
Day and a half.
Yeah, it must have said something by now.
Goes warm. Yes,
Well.
we should be expecting messages from Goes Warhol.
Sorry, can you say that name again?
It just I think she said it was part of the back in Kentucky. You must see like a horrible.
How does your tongue work that way? What?
It's similar to some sorts. It's kind of based on
Here, open
things.
your mouth. Let me see. I want to see that.
God, do I keep it open?
Yeah, keep now. Say the name.
So should I?
Hello.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Thank you.
I'm almost there. You just need to give me like 5 more seconds and I can copy it perfectly. Anyways, are we doing the triangle thing, or are we gonna keep inspecting Sirius's tongue for pronunciations?
Oh yes, I just mean a quick thing. It's like with this in the mock speed, I feel we should see the capabilities a little more. But yes, continue, Zach.
We'll see right now as he's gonna activate it.
As you begin to do so, you look towards the palm of your hand, and you see as the red triangle mark begins to slowly form in front of you. As I crappily draw it onto the screen, hiya! You'll look over inside, and you'll see as there are, I believe, yes, two messages sent to you guys. One from the likes of the Valley, and another one sent from the likes of the Taiga. Which would you like to look into?
Let's do Taiga first. You know.
As you begin to do so, you look over and you see as individuals are gathered amongst the snow. You see as several of these individuals that you've seen before, but they seem to be outside with the likes of, to put it lightly, an army of undead behind them, to be fair. Now, to some of you, this might be like, cool, undead, whatever. Those of you who've seen it multiple times. Others, it's a little bit off-putting, to say the least, but they don't seem to be attacking them. You're not entirely sure if they raised them, but that's besides the point, as you see a bearkin individual begin to slowly form and begin to slowly speak towards you all. Alright. Hopefully this thing works, and here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop the drop the audio thingy in the chat, just in case, Foundry's like, screw you, I don't want to work, and then I'm gonna play it on Foundry. So give me 2 seconds, and I got you. Bam, 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 bam.
Why is it so pretty?
Here, I would do it while the audio thing is playing, because I gotta go find it again. Okay. Let me do this, and here we go.
Okay. Before I begin, I must thank Azura Lanista, Sirius, and Fabio for their help in the arena of the gods. Our souls have been once again connected to our bodies because of you, and we will not forget what you did. Thank you. Today I have 4 pieces of information for you. To start, our group in the taiga has no name, and many of our companions have come and gone, but currently the soulbound of this team are Pyre, Ant, Zappy, Ulf, Yahato, Sarthiel, and myself. Whether we know each other or not, have met or not, like each other or not, we are all connected to one another, and the future of Voden relies upon our collaboration. We're stronger when we help each other, and so we freely share this information as a gesture of goodwill and friendship. Second, there are 2 massive events approaching. The Eclipse, a powerful force who has a familiar "you will all join, don't resist" slogan, will arrive in a couple of months. Then Ragnarok, the reason why the sky is tearing apart, begins in 3.5 months. Additionally, there's the tournament on Bayani, where we must unite to win powerful weapons to fight against the darkness and meet a sage in person. Please all be there. Third, there are 6-1, do not say the number, steps to pushing back the darkness. 1. Travel to other planets, connect the heavenly paths, and prevent destruction there. Second, build our own flourishing civilization that will not tear itself apart. Third, unite all groups, all marks. There are 3+2, again, don't say the number, civilizations we must bring together and stop the constant war between them. Fourth, determination and will are needed to redeem the fallen one who's been fighting everyone for ages. Fifth, learn how to cast a 10th level spell and how to reform all of creation. Only with these actions can we save Voden and all of Aurora. Fourth, the Nazgul specialties automatons were created to defeat the Starry Ones, but the original machines were infused with the souls of living beings. The Omedan Initiate removed the need for souls, but they hid the truth of their experimentation, and the souls are still trapped, undead and suffering, in metal bodies. If you come across a Nazgul specialty, free its soul and share the truth of all who were harmed. Expect more information soon, my allies, and thank you.
That see as Roz begins to freeze up as the transmission begins to end. You all are free to respond whenever you wish, or
What
discuss
just
amongst
happened?
yourselves.
That is a lot of information.
I should have started with the valley first.
Yeah.
I didn't expect. Oh my. What just. Serious, you remember all of that?
I do.
Good
It's
enough
still-
for me.
It's still a lot. It's still a lot to really take in.
I'm not gonna remember any of
It-
that. I'm
so-
gonna be real.
Now we can't say certain numbers.
There's other onto the vocabulary that we cannot say. I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna write this down. Don't
I-
say this word.
How
Don't
do you even
say
respond
that
to that?
number.
How can anyone respond to that? I don't know. Cool, thanks, I guess. I don't know. They want us to go to the tournament too. I feel like everyone wants us to go to the tournament. It's just.
If
They
it's
didn't
for
even
the-
answer me about the hell thing. Did they ignore me?
It's more so what I was implying before. There's so many things happening around us, and apparently we are in the midst of an apocalypse.
You know, I did not hear that part for because I was dazed out of game. I was in the car. That for reasons I don't know. So
And that's why in character I am repeating it and implying it again.
You know, for as scary as the notion of an apocalypse is an individual that has not been to this land for very long, I don't know how much I care about its demise. Except to say that my own demise might be included. And everybody else's. So, this is quite a bit of information.
is like, I don't know, the second world-ending thing that we've heard like in a day. That's fun.
Yes.
So we just got back-to-back things to
Worry about.
the world ending. You know?
It's just a-
It raises a question. Has anyone already avoided an apocalypse, or are we headed towards the first known apocalypses?
Not to my knowledge, no. But obviously, this already
Yeah.
feels like an apocalypse. Doing a great job.
This is the first time we are hearing such things.
Hmm.
The only thing that we know beforehand is through what Gronk said about Gronk being from the third, fourth cycle, fifth cycle, fourth cycle, something different cycle.
You can always ask Gronk, to be fair. He is just like trugging along, or like trugging
Nah,
along.
he just gets a pat. He just keeps going.
He's working right now. Let the
Yeah,
boy
he's-
do the thing.
We can't
Yeah.
interrupt his hard work of walking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not too sure if, I'm not too sure if that constitutes as these cycles, or if it just new people get added into the pool. But yeah, as Zell mentioned, this is kind of like the first time that we're really hearing about this.
I see. So it sounds as if we are 0 for X. Apocalypses completed. Lovely.
Oh boy. I think I got a response unless any of you want anything specific, but honestly, I don't know how anyone could want anything specific to that message.
I think if an immediate response is not needed, we should take our time to see what we could say.
Oh no, but I want to talk to them.
Yes.
Okay, so nothing? Good. Great, my turn. And Zil will start to begin his message. Let me know when you're recording.
Hiya! Alright, go for it.
Hey, people in the taiga who don't have a name. That's great information. It's a lot. Thanks, I think. question though. You didn't answer me about the hell thing. You leaving me on like red or something? What's going on here? You know, I kind of need to know because you know it's important to me. And that's the end.
Easy enough. As this is said, you see as the message is sent out towards the individuals in the snow. But you do have one message left to look into.
I don't need to see it. No, I'm kidding. I'll read it. I just read. No, I'll read it. Yeah, let's go to Valet.
Okay. As you're doing so, you look over and... Hold on, make sure I got this right. No, the map changed. That's fine. You look over and you see as your vision begins to change, and inside this triangle you see as there is a massive sort of forest as per usual in the valley. But you look over and see a handful of interesting individuals, as well as people in the sort of background. Everybody make a perception check with sight, looking into this triangle.
Oh, my homies love sight.
Great.
For one reason or another, I can't actually double click on my token to bring up my character sheet.
Have you
Although I'll
tried
see it.
pressing C?
Mm-mm.
That also brings up your character sheet.
That's not the reason
I mean,
why.
but I see Farmer's character sheet if I hit C.
Oh.
I'm
The
surprised
main
it gave
body.
I'm surprised it gave you permissions for that. Nah, this is an easy fix. I just got to give you permissions again. I gave permissions to everybody, but I guess it just didn't give permissions to you or Phoebe.
Damn, everyone will tie with that perception. We're all okay.
And we didn't have
Eyes
advantage
wide
either.
open.
So you can make that perception check, Missouri.
Leave me alone, Ducky.
Damn, Zell, you lacking.
You got the handicap, but oof.
That's the highest I usually roll with it.
So, Misery, you'd look in and you'd see as there are, well, individuals. There seems to be people, humanoid as well, in the likes of this triangle. Really seeing and understanding exactly how this sort of thing works is definitely a fascinating phenomenon as you get a little bit slightly, and I mean slightly, more familiar with it. Looking at it, this doesn't seem to have the same sort of environmental structure. In fact, what you are a part of seems to be a wasteland, and what this is seems to be a thriving village. You're unsure where, you're unsure how, but it is something to definitely clock. And one thing you would notice is that a bunch of these individuals, their eyes seem to be shining a sort of green light occasionally. Not the individuals in the message, but the individuals in the background kind of talking, shopping, and conversing and working in the back. Everybody else, 23s and more, you look over, or 18s as well, everything 18 and higher. You look over and you'd see as past this sort of point, it seems to be as these individuals, you have a very familiar thing. These are oculis, in particular. Oculis, very, very similar to the likes of Kaio. Green eyes, darkish hair for the most part, and more. You'd also look over, and as you do, you'd see as these individuals are next to a massive sort of structure, a grand hall of the sorts, from what you can tell. There also seems to be an individual of, what you can tell, a bit of sort of potent, or not potent, but a bit of rapport, a bit of power in compared to the rest. Not necessarily like arcane or physical power, more so political power in the way they're dressed and the way they seem to be carrying themselves as they look over and watch as all the masses are enjoying their lives and doing more. They seem to be waiting on something, but this individual is not in the likes of this message speaking. Instead, what you all would notice is a black-haired individual with green eyes and druidic face paint before you. You look over and you see Kaio from long, long ago relaying a message to you all alongside the Voden Knights. As you do, oh boy, this was fun. I got to do my own message. I hope I didn't fuck up. Alright, 1 second. Hello, this is Kaio speaking. I was an adventurer with you lot for a time. I'm reporting back from Jaded Dragon Valley to inform you that my adventure, my trek to the valley has gone successful. Right now, as mentioned before, I am at the Samadan Oculi tribe and village. I will see if I can grant you passage, as I've mentioned before, but things have, to say the least, things are a bit eerie. It seems to be that many signs of battle have been shown, even in the headquarters of the Oculi tribe. It's possible it was done by the Yasudans, but I am not entirely sure. Besides that, hopefully I'll be able to send you more information as I learn it, but for now, I wish you well, and farewell on your travels. With that, you see as... What the fuck happened to this guy? You look over, he seems to be kind of being helpful and kind of being tolerable. But regardless, as the message is said, what do each and every one of you say and or do?
Is this some kind of twisted joke?
He actually made it.
He did make it.
He made it. Oh boy. Oh,
He seems to be in cahoots with the Voden Knights.
And he's in the Samadan village. And he's going to talk about us, about me. Oh my god. Oh,
This is a lot. I have to really say, this is a lot happening right now. And
I,
all we did is get some water.
you know, I need to take this one. Again, guys, I'm sorry. I know, but I had Krelin and Ilva, you know what I said before, so you know why I have to do this, right?
I believe it's understandable. I'll just stand behind Zell. It's kind of, well, I'm kind of short, tall enough to peek over his shoulder, so I'll do that while he relays the message.
Medicine bird,
You just see
5'3".
Just see like a little beak over Zale's shoulder.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready to go.
Yep, we're good to go.
Kaio. It's good to see you again, but unfortunately I've learned things about myself. I've learned that I was held captive by someone, a Samadan probably, in an owl mask. They tortured me for information, and while I didn't know what I was being tortured for, I saw their papers, and it said Zale Samada, so I don't know what that entails or inclines, but you can mention any of these three, but you cannot mention me under any circumstance, for I fear whatever may happen to you, or whatever happened to me, will then happen to you, and I would not wish that onto anyone. Sorry that I got you into this mess. And that's it.
As you begin to do so, you'll notice as the message is sent out, with that, there are no more messages to respond to. If you ever want to choose to send another message, then you may do so, but for now, it all begins to disperse before your very eyes.
My, you are all quite popular.
Popular for both the good and the bad. So
it's
yeah,
not that fun.
popular. But yeah, sorry I had to take that one over. I didn't want anything bad to happen.
What's gonna happen when they open up that message in front of whoever?
Well, let's hope they're smart enough to know not to open it up into a random crowd of people. I'm sure they're capable enough.
We'll have to see.
We'll see. Well, I guess we'll see if they're in a prison next time I call them.
Lamont sneezes across the way.
But yeah. That's it for me, I guess.
Yeah, that was a lot of information from both sides there.
But again, so much is happening.
Yet it feels like we have so little time.
You have me jealous. It seems I've been missing out on quite a bit of fun.
I don't know about fun, my man.
That's not the definition I'd use.
I don't really take pleasure in having this.
My
Too bad.
my transparency and my sarcasm tend to take the same tone.
Well, here's to having more fun. Oh, yay.
Are there drinks where we are going?
We do not have alcohol, no.
But Kobe has his concoctions with coconuts.
I'm starting to wish we had alcohol.
It's going to be arranged at this point. I might have to take up a drink or two.
You all do know it is possible to make a tavern, as Bill Roy has shown the list of things you can build.
No. We need
Does
jungle
that
juice.
come with alcohol on build?
Yes,
We
it
don't need a
actually
tavern
does.
for that. We can make some jungle juice.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Slurpy swamp water.
Right.
Ooh, you.
But
You'll see Kreelin
oh god.
go up to Zale and kind of like lean into him. So, how good is alcohol?
Don't wanna answer that. You're. I don't know if you're a minor in like bird years or like what's going on. You asking the guy with amnesia how good something is? I'll remember when I drink it.
And
Good
we'll have our
answer.
first drinks together.
I had to keep it vague so the FBI doesn't fucking get me. Sure.
I mean, you
whatever.
murdered people.
Yeah, why do you think I'm trying to lay low?
You remember we're live right now, right?
Stop self-snitching. God damn it.
Oh man.
No, I'm fucking with you.
It might seem like an unnecessary injection of desire for alcohol, however, I believe, after the session that we have had in all of our unfortunate recollections and the impact of all of the news, I think a drink would be in order.
No,
I would concur.
granted.
Oh.
There are two things. Well, how do I word this? One thing that you would notice is that Ilva, your mark, as Keeper Camino, it is, or as he pointed out, it is still glowing and pulsing. It hasn't sort of stopped since he pointed it out. Looking over to everyone else's marks seems to be perfectly normal for the most part. But would that happen yet? Yes it would. You would notice as there is one other mark acting up. You'd see as Misery, Ilva, you would be probably the one to spot this rather than Misery themselves, not necessarily paying attention to it immediately. I imagine they're probably not paying attention to their hand every 4 seconds.
Oh, I'm dead ass not paying attention to my hand right now. I am deep. I am in thought and sort of just kind of looking off and generally looking, standing upright with my chin up, very, very nightly.
So Ilva, you'd be able to clock this, but you'd see as Misery's mark, the purple square, seems to be like, how do I say it? It seems to be slowly sort of shifting. It seems to be almost sort of fading for a second. Sees it flickers for a brief moment and then immediately begins to appear back on. As it begins to appear, you see a portion of it sort of cracked. missing. Only a tiny, very, very tiny portion of it. After a couple of seconds, maybe even a minute, vanishes, appears back on. Bits and more pieces are flaking or missing off. That's what you're able to clock over, besides your own mark glowing and pulsing.
Oh, that was cool.
Did you say something?
Your mark kind of just disappeared and reappeared, and now it's all cracked. And I look towards Krila.
Oh, well, that sort of thing happens when I face away and you cannot actually see the mark because it is on the other side of my body. Or do you actually mean that it literally disappeared?
Literally.
You know, I rather like having a purple square. It sort of reminds me of the sight of twilight deep into the night in the middle of the Shadowfell. Well, again, no frame of reference. If it disappears and reappears, that doesn't seem to matter at this point as far as my recollection of it, aside from perhaps a glimpse, a very moment, as she looks over to Krelin, that you might not have a problem with me.
I'll look at my mark. Is anything activating, glowing, smoking?
Nope. Just sitting there, inert.
And I'll flip the palm over and show it to Misery, and then show it to the rest of the group, and no problems here. And then you'll see me take out the trident again and spin it around in the marked hand.
What does that
I'm-
mean?
I'm ready when you are, Krelin.
What?
She's gonna
This is
wink.
good. This is good.
What's good?
Misery. Misery is good.
Oh, trust me. When I'm good, I'm good. But when I'm bad, I'm even better.
I hide in here for a second.
Is this happening right now? What?
What? So, could context be provided for what this?
You two are getting along, right? This isn't like a signal for help. Like twice.
Misery is just kind of, sizing up Krelin again, but then she's going to smirk and she is going to look to everybody and be like, "Don't mind me. I just had a glimpse of boredom is all."
Okay.
Yeah. We're okay here. I believe everyone is familiar with the phrase, if things are less than controlled.
The bird noises.
It will be a pleasure to work with you on training others, Krelin.
Yes. Yes, it will. Now look at
Nope.
my mark again.
Dead ass tension in the air.
I almost
God.
regret maybe bringing up the collaboration.
I think I should blink twice. I'm scared.
Everything is fine.
On that note, is there any other? I think maybe do we have another goal in mind? Like this tournament seems to be either brought up very frequently, and knowing that there are weapons that can help us, is that of our concern?
Not too sure. Without regarding the tournament, without Phoebes here, I'm not too sure.
Should we wait for her input then regarding this whole thing?
I would really like to hear her input.
I just worry if we stretch ourselves too thin, what could happen to either us or the people that are around us.
So we should continue with maybe a contingency for structure.
I think so.
With
There were.
With-
oh, go ahead.
the message we received from, and then I'll look at Sirius from Graz. Was there an order in which of these large events we should take place? Since I distinctly remember being a couple of steps in order to hold back the Starry Ones, and one of them being walking the path, heavenly path.
The heavenly path seems to be in the
I was
heart of-
muted.
Oh.
I'll retcon that. Graz would know that they are not steps. They're more of a checklist, rather. She would know that, and I assume she'd probably tell you guys it's more of a checklist rather than referring to it as steps.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're more like guidelines than actual
Yeah.
rules.
Nah, they're rules.
I think I'm in misery with this one.
Oh man.
There's no specific order. It's not like a cake. You don't have to put them like at the certain order.
Yeah.
It's on loose leaf, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Meanwhile, Sammy's just screaming.
Good. I want to hear her.
There are cries in the distance.
I just want everybody to get along.
Not all butterfly and rainbows. Not in these sands.
These sands are hard. They're tough. The gradients.
Oh my god.
I was asking because there may be enough time in between now and when the tournament starts to advance some of the other goals Roz listed.
The uniting of communities. That sounds quite a difficult task to really bring up.
But
We do not know. Oh yes.
if those are guidelines, then surely we can help in our own way.
As you begin to say that, Mark begins to glow even more.
What if everything she's mentioned, there was a lot, but if we look down the list, now you mentioned reuniting communities or settlements or cities, whatever. What if the reason I'm bringing this up is I don't want to risk myself or the people around me for no reason, that we're over here, they're over there kind of thing. But what if we were able to do a task that seemingly helped the other groups without us really risking most of our lives?
Do you have any idea of which task that might be?
Well, it could be discussed further, but maybe we haven't really. We've explored some parts of the expanse, but there's still quite a bit that we've yet to really look into. For example, when we first came here, we didn't know about the water words, and now there is a whole thriving community underneath the oasis with them? What happens if there's other entities, organizations, people that are willing to perhaps come together, that we could also unite here, and that we could provide that type of assistance instead of trekking through land after land and stretching ourselves thin and not being able to even check on the individuals that we've got back at our own place, or the relationships we have with the Queen and whoever else we come across. I'm just speaking out loud that maybe there is other ways to help other than us going on a expedition across 3 different lands to do this. And Zale's curious even about how can we really afford to be split into 4 or 5 different directions.
I think we should stay as a group, unless it absolutely needs to be. We should decide as a group.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the right choice is.
To Ilva's point, it stands to reason that if this red triangle thingy can send and deliver information, that there is quite a bit of possibility to offer remote support without having to trek a long distance.
There was back into Tahiri, there was, I imagine the same methods apply here, but there is methods of teleportation or projection that maybe we could, similar to actually how Phoebe and I used the scrying orb from that blessed hag. Maybe there's something here we can utilize or develop ourselves that would effectively cut that distance also by 80-90%.
With the rules of time not working here as it does in other realms, I would hope the rules of traveling through space may not fare the same as well.
Something to test and consider, maybe.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this land of Voden, it's had a history before us being here.
That is assumed, yes.
Yes, even Gronkier said that there is cycles before us, but he is from the 3rd. There's a history in this land to be discovered, or at least remembered.
Interesting. And this previous history has had a pronounced presence of magic in those who wield magic. Correct?
Judging by the size of the beast we're on, I'd say so.
Well, from what little I understand of anthropology and history, of course I'm going to have to check my character sheet again to see if history is history something she actually, yes. Proficiency, cool. Anyways,
Nice.
from what limitations I have of history is, if provided enough time on any timeline, individuals who build up their repertoire in magic will no doubt find a way to break the limitations of the prime material in order to accommodate these things. And if there is a history, no doubt they've left their mark and their tools behind.
This is something we should search for. Do you have any an inkling of an idea of what those things could be? What we can focus on searching?
Ruins, present sanctums of magic where such items might have funneled to by the desire for power from individuals across the ages, that sort of thing. Are any of you aware of any centers of magic power in the desert?
Well, there was that one thing that brought us here from that other place, technically.
Oh yes, it was some ancient mechanism or magic that
Oh, the gate thing.
yes, it teleports us here, and that's where the other group has seemingly come from. That if we can understand what that is, we can possibly use that to shorten the distance traveling.
Where is that group now, by the way, Siri?
Give me a moment, and Sirius will deeply focus on towards the mark and try to hone in on a location of any group that is in this land.
Got it. As you begin to try to do so, your eyes begin to turn in a blue coloring, and you'll see as the tattoos, or the hand, or the mark upon the palm of your hand begins to slowly spiral out of control and begins to swirl up your forearm and then amongst your sort of tricep area. As it does so, your vision begins to take flight for a moment, going high into the sky like an eagle. It flies with a rapid amount of pace and speed before you look over and you look down. And you see as several individuals, they seem to be building something and then sailing? What? You look over and you see as there are two triceratops from what you could see, one made out of flesh, the other made out of mechanical metal in nature. You also see as there is their massive mushroom friend who seems to be pulling, or all in unison with the triceratops, a boat of the sorts that is sort of sailing on the likes of the sand. They seem to be making great pace, and you would even notice, Sirius, as they're rummaging past a couple of locations that you do at least know a little bit familiar, but even some other ones as well. As you begin to do so and you look into this sort of strange realm, make a perception check, Sirius. Natural 1. Unlucky. You look over and you just sort of feel a bit of rumbling once more. Is that in the vision? Is that you? Not sure. Immediately, that bit of distraction begins to sort of take you out from the sight. But you feel that same rumbling for a second. It's not necessarily from Gronk either. It seems to be a sort of humming, a thrumming, or something. Look over and something's off for sure. Look around and about. Not sure what's going on, but regardless, there is a bit of rumbling and a sort of a humming or something. Not a humming in the sense of like a person doing it, but more so a constant sort of shaking sensation. That said, Sirius, as you gain all this information, what do you say or do?
I gave a recollection of what I saw of the group. And question, when using the mark, did my ability to do so focus on a singular individual or the group as a whole? Like, was I
Yeah.
tethered to like only the blue mark, or was I able to just see everyone?
You were tethered to the blue mark. It seemed to be sort of focusing on their location and sort of circling around everything. Well, circling around them in particular and seeing everything, you know, about them.
So I didn't just see like Zephyr with the blue mark. I was able to get a good view of everyone.
Yes, you were.
Okay. Yeah, I give a I explained to them the things that I saw, and noticing the rumbling, I kind of search around for maybe the source of that beyond Gronk.
You look around for a second. The same sort of rumbling, same sort of shaking. You look over. What could it be? You look towards the sky. You don't see much of anything. Look around. Make another perception check or investigation check, your choice.
Make a roll.
Ooh, 1 and a 2. You look around and you're having a bit of trouble sort of seeing exactly what the rumbling is, and you're not entirely sure whether it's Gronk or if it's something else. In your current position, it's just not happening. You may need to see with the others if they can give assistance or maybe take another means of this approach.
And that I would kind of point out towards. Do you feel more of a rumbling sensation besides Gronk here?
It's hard to tell while I'm Gronk. It's nighttime now, right?
Yes.
I'll just kind of fly above and try and keep pace with Gronk and see if I can feel anything like a vibration in the air, or just so I'm off of him.
You fly upwards the twilight sky. Vibration, you don't feel it on the sky, but their perception, begin to hear it. You hear something. How far it is, it seems far. And as you begin to slowly keep a little bit of pace, like staying next to Gronk, begin to listen. Ova, make a perception check.
With sight, right?
Yeah, this can be a sight. 12. You hear as you begin to continue in Gronk's sort of direction. It gets louder and louder. Not necessarily when you're getting closer towards Gronk, but when you're going the same direction as Gronk. Wherever he's headed, you can hear it louder and louder as it's more prevalent. As this is sort of doing so, Nova, your mark, it begins to slowly start changing and shifting. It's been glowing and pulsing for this entire time, but you notice as it's almost beginning to sort of blind you for a moment and just try to move it out of your face. It's almost like a
just turn it
flashlight.
around.
Yeah. And as you do, you begin to see something. It seems to be almost like a pyramid or a little bit smaller. A structure off in the distance. You don't remember seeing it before. And as you begin to do so, Ilva, you begin to feel strangely cold for a second. Now, in the deserts of Voden, typically, it doesn't really get that much colder compared to in the daytime. Not really. But this feels like a stranger cold, like almost a chilling or freezing cold as if you were in the snow, or the snows of Wintergale. As this begins to happen, I begin to wonder what exactly is going on. Is it damned gods? What is this? Begin to hear a voice into your head. You look over for a brief moment as this voice, whatever it is, enters, and you see a sort of raven flying by for a moment. One raven in a second towards your left, and three beginning to sort of flock all towards this mountain. You see as a fourth one begins to join, and then a fifth, all begin to perch amongst this strange mountain structure off to the right. Looking over towards it, it's nothing special about it, but you see as they all look towards you, this is what the voice says.
Soon. So soon. Marked one. A tower. Tower rises, and the sky begins to fall.
And as they're sort of mentioning this, or even beginning to sort of speak, you've heard this voice before. A bit of sort of airiness to them, a bit of calm. But this is Jafari's voice. They seem serious for a second. They seem more relaxed, but with conveying something of importance. As they begin to speak, this is what they say.
The sky falls about you all, over and over and over. But soon, the finality of it will approach. Ragnarok, cataclysm, arrives at the hands of the eclipse. The corruption's commanders, the corruption's most powerful entities. They seek to bring about this ruin, with only so little time to prepare. You all will not be ready. For there being so much to discover, so much to build, so much to explore, it will not be enough time.
As this is sort of said, Ilva, you see as a couple of the ravens begin to flock over towards the left from this sort of right side of the mountain. As they begin to shift, what are you saying? What are you doing?
I don't think I'd say anything. Just kind of trying to understand the words that are being spoken and the significance of the multiple ravens. Trying to put maybe a connection between the meteor shower sky falling to this tower popping up to the mention of Ragnarok and the eclipse and thinking about what was said in the red triangle message. Just kind of trying to take in a overview of what's around her while feeling as cold as she is right now.
As you begin to do so, you see as the 5 ravens begin to slowly form over towards the left, and as they do so, they're flying over, but they begin to spot something. It seems to be a small animal of the sorts. Fly down. Oh, it's very small. It would be dangerous to take on alone. 5 of them. They swarm around it, begin to strike. They look over, though it's already dead. It's enough for now. It's enough food for the time being. Begin to pick at it, begin to consume for sustenance. As they do so, you see as they fly off, continue on towards the left of the mountain as as the voice begins to enter and say once more.
For there being so much to discover, so much to build, so much to explore, in the name of our survival, we won't be ready. But with so much to do, we wonder. But we must do this. We must prevent cataclysm. We must stop this Ragnarok, or at the very least, delay it. For if we can't, this cycle will be finished. All of Aurora consumed.
As this happens, you look over and you see as the ravens begin to fly over towards the likes of this sort of mountain, and you see as smaller, minor individuals of the corruption begin to slowly form over towards it, climbing amongst the rocks, climbing over to see the likes of Gronk, but keeping their distance. They look over towards the ravens, and as they begin to try to swipe out towards them, it's only 2 or so. They swipe out towards the ravens. One of them gets injured, almost being completely corrupted and struck down before the others begin to fly off. You see as one of the ravens begin to almost continue flying, but eventually becomes harder and harder to fly before they drop and fall to the ground. See as they're turned and corrupted into an astral light until there was only 4 ravens. There always were 4 ravens. Never was a 5th one. What are you talking about? You see as the 4 individuals begin to completely fly off towards the likes of the direction of where Gronk is headed before the voice begins to say this.
All of Aurora will be consumed. There will be no one left. Nothing left. No friends to go back to. No family to love. All of it consumed. You must understand. Please understand. That's however we can prevent this. We must prevent this. Or if we don't, that will be our fate. A destiny, a fate, a life forgotten. My towers, the sage, the spirits, and more, they begin to bloom across all of Voden. All seeking to restore peace to destructive and rancid, terrible, terrible land.
As this is said, Ova, are you still listening, or are you saying anything to this individual?
Still listening.
Enough. As you do so, the voice continues and says,
These towers, though they blossom and bloom across all of Voden, only certain souls are able to reveal the truth. You, Ilva, are one of them. To reveal these towers' secrets. The prevention of the eclipse. It starts with trust. Unlikely, annoying, irritating as it is. With all the qualms, with all the uncertainty. However, trust me when I say this. After the past 4 cycles, they didn't listen. They all were consumed. It's up to you whether you will or you will try to do something else, but if you want to prevent this, if you want to be remembered, or have ones to even remember, it starts with trust. Trust your allies, the Kindred Spirits, whatever you do. Even the Soulbound, if not with everything, at least for this one task. Just this one. As all of your lives are on the line. You may do as you wish, but this is the fate of Voden. The choice is yours.
And with that, everyone, Sirius, Ilva, Zale, Creelin, Misery, you all begin to hear and feel this strange sort of almost shifting of the entirety of the expanse. You look over and you see as Gronk begins to sort of stop moving for a second, you feel the rumbling of what feels like an earthquake beginning to occur. You almost begin to start getting toppled over and having to start hanging on to the likes of Gronk's sort of horns and shells and more. You look over and you see as a massive silver tower begins to slowly start forming from the ground. You see as it begins to protrude up further and further into the sky, similar to a tower of the past. You look over towards this, and as you begin to witness it, now that's all of you. Everybody, make your highest saving throw. All but Ilva. We need one from Creelin and then Misery. Oh boy. Dang, the fact that you got a 1 and you still get a 12 is crazy. And,
I am standing around everybody, so they should be getting a +4 to all of their.
That
That's
will help.
28 then.
That will help. 28.
It's mine.
Did
Is
you?
mine gone through yet?
Nah, it does not. It did not.
Okay, let me saving throw.
That's gonna be a
So
20.
that's 20 for me, yeah.
Freeland. We start with. Actually, we'll start with Yeah, we'll start with Misery. You begin to see visions of the past, the future. You're not entirely sure what this is, but you look down and you find yourself roaming the likes of a city, stumbling about. And you look down towards your hands and they seem to be darker, not pale, but they seem to also have these sort of strange, kind of like runes or tattoos of a golden sort of coloring onto it. As you do so, you look over, you see as a massive tower begins to form in front of your very eyes. You seem injured, you seem wounded, but you look over towards it. You see as there it lies once more, mocking all of the individuals down below. Zale, you begin to see visions of what begin to seem like yourself wielding a trident of the sorts. You seem to be rushing into a battle, rushing in to strike down any individuals that oppose you. Not alone, but alongside several individuals amongst a massive sort of tower and sphere above. Freeland, you looking over, and it seems to be as you witness several of your allies beginning to head off towards this tower. You look down, you seem to have a sort of a strange sort of book that doesn't seem to be yours. Robes that definitely aren't monk-like. your skin completely blue, but this is not you. Aarakocra, what is this? But you see as several of your allies begin to slowly start heading forth and out towards this massive spire, this massive tower. Before we look towards you, Sirius, you find yourself in what seems to be gathering individuals. You see as multiple souls begin to start sliding off of this strange, massive tower and more. Individuals trying their damnedest to hold on, helping one another to try to secure their way down as it begins to topple over onto itself. You see as multiple individuals begin to do so, and as you rush forth with as much speed as you possibly can, you notice as your hands, they seem to be almost cat-like, like Fabio's. Hands and paws of a tabaxi of the sorts. You look down towards your form, but there's no need, or there's no time to sort of look towards it. You must keep going. You must keep going. As you all begin to look towards these visions and more, Ilva, you see that same tower for what looks similar to the spire of Antasi. A spire brought by pain and suffering. But you look over towards this one, for that one looked sinister. It looked imposing. You look towards this singular one, and it seems to seek redemption, revival, and peace, with a sleek design, several bits of runes onto it from what you can tell. However, for only pain can bring about progress, prosperity, and the so desired peace. And with that, as you all witness it, what do you say and what do you do? As it is in the direction of your home.
I guess like seeing this, since I'm up in the air, I'll go ahead and like fly down to the team.
What was that? Wait.
Some sort of tower brought on by the Dragon Sage of the White Mark.
What, visions plagued my mind. I was at a black sea. I was burning at such incredible speed. I cannot run that fast.
I know of not what you witnessed, but they spoke of this tower, this mechanism being able to help with the impending Ragnarok brought on by the eclipse. It is very similar, I don't know, since you are from Tahiri, very similar to the tower that was manifested in Antazi. But from the words of the sage, I think this one is meant for possibly delaying the end of everything. They asked me to trust in it and to trust all of you, if not ever in my life, to do it once this time. I don't think that this particular sage wants Voden or whatever world to cease to exist. So I think in their own way they're also helping. Similar to what maybe the Sage of the Black Mark thinks of doing things their own way to help or to change things or to, I don't know, but the tower that emerged is in the direction of where we call home right now.
Now, Ilva pointing that out, can I see this tower?
Everybody can see this tower.
With that and my keen mind, do I know from the location of the tower and our home, where is it?
Considering you guys are only on the outskirts of your home now, it is most definitely in that exact region of the oasis.
Like,
It
is
would
it
not be-
is like on the way, like it's literally right between us for that and home, or is it like off to the side?
A little off to the side, but it's kind of hard to tell from this perspective. From what you can tell with your keen mind and more, it would be no roll really needed. It would be how do I explain this? Only several dozen or 100 feet from the likes of your own village. You wouldn't walk past it. It would be a little bit of ways past your village, but not much at all. Like only several dozen feet, or at that.
Misery's eyes are fixated on the tower, and Misery is going to step forward, and she is going to stare listlessly at it for a few moments, but then she's going to say, I felt out of breath, as if I had been running, not running away, but running towards something, like in a rage, giving myself unto death. Like I was in pain, and I wanted to take that pain out on something. I wasn't myself. Well, I'll confess that there are pieces to that sound like myself, but I, in that moment, was not myself. And I had the glitter of gold in my forearms.
Wow. These visions are quite powerful, as I too was also not myself. It was blue and featherless, and I guess forced to carry a book. The three worst possible things. That was not me. I don't know what's going on.
I remember the tower from Tahiti. If this is what is similar, it's almost laughable that a dragon stage was created. It's, in all honesty, almost a mockery of what has happened in that land, what it brought, and how so many people have suffered from it.
Well, I don't think there is ill intent purposely. It does beg the question potentially that if my sage of this mark constructed this tower, this lookalike, and if this is a stretch, but what if there is a sage out there that maybe constructed the tower in Tahiri, and maybe all sages have a a way of doing that to either boon or cause havoc among certain people of maybe, not this world, but maybe the other one too.
That is the case. This tower is quite close to our homestead. Do we investigate?
I think there we should eventually investigate for sure. But I think if we head home first, I'd like to, with the emergence of this tower, I'd like to make sure that I try to do everything in my power to make sure that we'll be safe. Afterwards, I have no problem investigating it.
The tower. It's strange. It reminds me of the Fortress of Memories.
What way?
The way that it has such a pull on the mind. You see, the Fortress of Memories, the home of the Raven Queen. For each individual who passes, their memories are streamed into the Fortress of Memories. And the Raven Queen picks those from the collection like a raven taking trinkets and adds them to her collection. I'm curious who or what the true power is within this tower, and whether there is something either taken inside or something yet to be taken.
That's what I think we should make haste.
The Discord. Say that one more time, Animus.
I think we should make haste. We must collect ourselves. We
I think they said make haste. We have to collect ourselves
To go home,
Yep.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Noted. There's been far too many memories and far too many visions for now. Again, I'd like to bring up the issue of alcohol. Is there truly none?
There is.
We can find some, but I'd rather go home before we start looking.
Coconuts. Wait a minute. And you'll see Krelin like fly up just a little bit. And I understand we need to expedite ourselves over there. I'll take first eyes. And then you'll start to see Krelin flat.
Wait,
Flat?
really on the tower?
Towards home. Back home.
Oh,
Make
yes.
sure
Yes.
everyone's alright.
All
And
right.
in the next 3 seconds, he's flying straight home.
As said, is there anything anybody else wishes to do before we move on to the next scene?
Nope, I'm good.
Alright. With that, the Kindred Spirits begin to slowly form closer and closer towards their home. However, as they begin to do so, you look over to see your peaceful makeshift village and home. But looking over off to the side, the closer you get, the closer the tower becomes prevalent. You notice as as much as you hoped it wouldn't, and as much as you somewhat feared, it is in the likes of your village, and not far at all. Looking outside, sort of gathered around it, but keeping their distance heavily, you'd see as several individuals are off to the side, looking from afar. But you all return here, and you would all see this. Looking over towards it, as you guys begin to reside on top of Gronk, it is a massive, massive thing. Now, for Ilva, you being actually on this spire or in Tazi, though it is not as big, and obviously the map can only represent, like, you know, it can only show it to be so high, it is still gargantuan in size and definitely imposing to some degree. With that, Creelan, you begin to rush over, and eventually as you see this, we'll start off with you, Creelan. What are you saying or doing, or are you just waiting for the others to catch up?
I'm
Okay.
gonna do a flyby on the tower because it looks like it's a little bit before home, but not really investigate that. I'm gonna actually just see if I see anything moving on the tower, and if I don't really see anything, then I'm gonna go look for the other folks in town and see if they're alive. I guess I can start with the tower and see if Spine Snap is in the tower.
You got it. So the tower is in like the watchtower, or the tower is in like the big spire that just formed?
Oh no, the watchtower, because he's
You got it.
usually around that area.
Easily enough, you would see a Spine Stop is not in the watchtower, but you would notice as he is gathered forth with the rest of the other individuals or the other NPCs, looking out towards this massive sort of device. You could find him easily enough, though.
Just drop down and just ask, is everyone okay? Has anyone been harmed?
As you begin to do so, let me drag your token all the way over there. You begin to fly off, and as you do, you'll see as probably Inquisitor or ex-Inquisitor Spine Snap will begin to mention, not really. We were okay. Everything seemed to be peaceful until that began to show up. Looking and pointing out towards the spire. Oh, Showcase, you're muted if you say anything.
Oh, yep, I was. I just came out of nowhere. You may also feel a rumble and see a large sight as you'll turn back towards Gronk. That I can at least confirm is friendly.
Oh my fucking god. They brought a fucking dinosaur! That thing's massive. Wait, that's... goodness gracious, that thing is fucking as big as a goddamn tower. Should I ask exactly where you found that?
Freeland just point back in the direction he came. It was in the desert, in a more open area. Lots of resources. And a friend.
Alright, gonna add that to the book. You'll see as he begins to open up his little makeshift little journal book entry of Mako's baddies and badasses, as described as the NPC was given. And you'll see as he begins to start inscribing and drawing out a little bit of Gronk. But as this is sort of happening, Mako will kind of look over and say, right, where are the others? They sort of... Yeah, where are they? They're not dead, are they?
Very much alive. They're on the back of Beast, Dinosaur.
And as
they may seem small in comparison.
And as this is sort of mentioned, eventually the rest of the Kindred Spirits, you all arrive on the likes of Gronk, or flying about if you wish. We'll see as Gronk will begin to sort of stop where they are, begin to sort of drop down, allowing you guys to sort of get off of him if you wish. And as you do, you guys are free to join or free to do as you please.
As I drop down, I will just tell Grob to stay here as we'll get you accommodated. Thank you, Grob.
See as he looks
Siri.
over and nods.
Why don't you, with the others, gather everyone up? I'm gonna cast that spell over us.
Yes, yeah, I'll hurry on towards the others, and while I get towards the edge, I kind of like pick up a voice and say, "Everyone, please, gather around. We have things to announce."
Do you know exactly what is going on? We'll see as Fate speaks.
There's a lot to explain. I want everyone to gain resonance.
Animus are freaking out again.
God damn it!
Turning farmer mode on us.
Fucking hell. Alright. Stop. 2, 1. No, my God.
You'll see as...
3 bars?
Oh,
3
wait.
bars? Alright.
You're good.
Alright.
Perfect.
There's so much to explain. So much we haven't discovered. I would like everyone to be present so we can give everyone the same explanation.
As this sort of happens, you'll see as Onyx begin to sort of whistle and call Sheila over and then gather the rest of her little troop. You'll see as Sheila begins to snarl, but they'll join on in. The others will begin to gather a little bit closer with the clinking and clanking of Cornelius or Cornelius's sort of steel defender form, and all of these individuals gather forth for whatever sort of wish or whatever sort of announcement you have to say. You look over and you don't see Bovie anywhere, but Reelan, make a perception check. Ten? No. Don't see anything.
Noticing that Bovie isn't here, can I try to search for him?
Sure, if you can. If you want, make a perception check or investigation. 12. You look around and you kind of see something. You kind of look over and you kind of towards the tower and you see as something is sort of shifting for a moment. Wonder if it's a sort of creature. Not entirely sure if it's Bovie or if it's something else watching you from afar, but it is over here. Sort of
what
looking
that creature
at you.
like?
It looked humanoid. You're able to at least tell that. 2-legged or bipedal and all that.
I rush over and try to get a better look at that immediately.
As you begin to do so, you look over and you see kind of lurching over off to the side. You see almost sort of looking over towards you in the shadow before vanishing up and then just sort of scaling, climbing up. And you see the individual in tow who seems to be climbing the tower and spire. Seems to be Bovie Von Bovie. You see as they
I
look...
immediately yell out, "Bovie!
What?
Get off of the tower!"
Why? I can become
No!
king of the... I can become king of the expanse. What are you talking about?
No, it is going to kill you!
It hasn't killed me yet, so I'm going to keep on climbing. He just starts
I
going
immediately run over. How far is Bovie?
up. He's about 80 feet up right now.
1 second.
Oh no.
I'm gonna fly over to try to catch him when he falls.
That might be a good shot.
I'm going to
I ain't
watch
going
with
up there.
amusement.
Those instead of go to Spine Snap. Hey.
Hello. Oh, by the way, not the greatest time, but we do need to have a conversation about the whole sort of, gun safety sort of thing.
This is the bestest time.
Meanwhile, I'm running up towards 60 feet of Bovie.
Oh.
Oh, and you're gonna do what after you move up?
I'm
60
going to
feet?
cast whole person on Bovie.
Oh my
no.
god. All right, you'll see as he's just like, no, I'm going to be the king. And he's gonna make a wisdom saving throw. 17.
Damn it.
Ooh,
I use my de-inspiration to make him reroll.
Oh my god.
yikes.
All right, as he does so, fuck.
Ha.
He's like, I'm untouchable. You can. Ah, shit! And you see as he begins to
Please,
just
no!
start. You see as he immediately just begins to freeze up, tense up, and just slowly falls back. Krillin, I assume you fly up to catch him, right?
I wasn't expecting it to work, and then poof, I'm flying up and catching both.
As you do, you see he's just sort of twitching in the likes of your arms as you catch him and begin to slowly bring him back down to the ground. He's just sort of like twitching and twitching. Just you can see his eyes sort of looking over towards you, serious. They are hateful eyes, but he can't really do anything about it. So,
Ovi, I am completely sorry, but we do not know what power this tower holds, and I do not want you to perish under the power of any divine means. It's just completely out for your safety.
that's all you hear. He's still paralyzed.
Gridden, can you please take him to the others?
Please, with me.
Alright.
And then I'll hoist him up a little bit. And, the best I can fly with him so he's not walking and dragging his feet, and fly back over to the rest of the party.
Easy
The
enough.
rest of everyone else.
As you do, you take the paralyzed Tanu over off to the side and place him down until eventually the spell would wear off after the minute. You see as he sort of looks over towards you and he just starts, doesn't really say much, he just starts grumbling like, son of a... I was investigating. There were a bunch of runes and writing on it, and I was looking to see if I could understand it.
Can you read?
Yes,
You
I
just
can
had-
read.
you-
Can you read?
Yes.
Ovi, please, this is serious.
Fine.
Yes. Can I see what Ilva's doing right now?
Well, you'll probably be able to see them. You have high enough perception. Ilva, what would you be doing at this moment in time? Unless you're hiding off.
No. I'm just in the air currently. You see a lot of like hand gestures.
Okay.
Hold on,
I guess I would recognize that as sees Ilva's trying to cast something. I guess I'll give her a minute to see what she does.
It takes 10, so you decide.
Oh, also
Yeah.
real quick,
She already knows. She already knows. It's okay.
because I've been meaning to do this earlier. Misery, a while ago you did receive inspiration from chat, and Zale, a while ago you did receive inspiration from chat.
Thank you, chat.
Alright, there you go. Go ahead, Sirius.
Okay, so I guess Ilva's kind of low key going Super Saiyan 3 with it, whatever's going. So I'm just going to give her time and explain to the others. On our journeys to finding more of the stray water weirdlings for Queen Saltada, we discovered that the land of Voden is in deep peril, as an event called Ragnarok is soon to take place in a couple of months. We do not know how it will occur.
Wait, hold on. That thing's actually fucking real?
Yep.
Yes, as we have learned this from other individuals that bear the same markings as us, who are spread across the lands.
I swear to God, why can't Iroas and Mogus just shut the fuck up already? God damn it.
For this, we will make, I believe, some sort of expedient progress on making a structure for both our safety and, if we don't all perish, our future well-beings. These things will be conducted at a time, but please withhold from investigating the tower, for we do not know what sort of effect it would take upon any of you. It is a construction of one of the dragon sages, so hopefully one of us in our group would be able to investigate it more thoroughly if such a thing is needed.
You'll see as Onyx begins to speak. Whoa. Slow down for 1 second. Dragon Sages, End of World. Where did you learn all of this again?
We were contacted by another group who is held from the Asia Tiger. Apparently this thing has been going for quite a while. and this is the first that we have been hearing of it.
Mm-hmm.
There are steps or things that can be done to either halt it or postpone it. But I assure you, we will do something about this and not just take witness to the common destruction.
So, you'll see as spine snapping against the speak. So we need to make sure I got this right. Stay away from the tower, and well, what do we do? What are we supposed to do about this?
I'm not sure at the moment, but let us try not to go into disarray or any sort of panic, and let us work together to in the end make sure that we survive what is to come.
Well, I don't mean to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. It's kind of hard to sort of remain calm and not panic when apparently end of worlds is coming and there's nothing to do about it.
Yes, I understand, but panic only brings more chaos, and the type of chaos that would bring is something that would be going against us. I understand your worry, but the best we can do is assess and adapt to it.
We'll see is... That is logical. Sorry for my outburst.
It's just understandable. I do not take offense by it. But also this, and I put hands over, this is Misery. She would be staying with us. Misery, any words you would like to say to?
Any one-liners?
Misery is going to look across at each of the buildings, and she is going to look upon the crowd of people gathered, and she is going to say, "Greetings, everyone. It seems I have become your resident representative of the Raven Queen. So, couple of ground rules. First and foremost, I am somebody who can be kind, but only if kindness is shown. And furthermore, I'm going to need to be brought up to speed on the affairs of the town and brought up to speed on its defenses. As I expect to fulfill a particular position of militant significance while I'm here, given that I am a knight of the Netherine Order. So, as soon as is applicable after a night of perhaps heavy drinking, as it has been quite a long day, but afterwards, I expect to receive a briefing. That is all.
You'll see as a bit of murmuring happens amongst the likes of Silthana and Onyx for a bit. But it's very, very hush-hush. It's not like to be rude or anything. It's more of sort of just a small little peaceful conveying of information. As is said, and Misery begins to finish. Is there anything else, Sirius or Zale, you would say? Outside... Oh, well, you got about like 2 more minutes till the thing is finished.
It's all good.
I kind of leaned over and whispered, say, thank you. But we'd like to. I don't think I covered everything.
What do you want me to cover?
Just just in case there's something I missed. It
I
was
don't think
really
you
on the
missed
spot.
anything.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Yes.
Got it.
So again, I
Just having a conversation like on this stage, just like, dude, I thought you rehearsed this.
I was like, you said it was free for.
no, this.
Hey,
you know.
yeah. With that, I will perk up again and say, so again, please do not panic. We will quickly understand what's going on with this tower. We have some inkling of why it was made or what purpose it might serve, but in the coming future, we are going to come together as a people.
Mhm. We've gotten this far. It's not like we're gonna stop now.
Misery is going to sort of clap. Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
I'll say this. Zale, make a persuasion check.
Yeah. Oh.
Jesus Christ. Alright.
As I said, well said.
Casually rolls a 30, what the fuck?
Hey
Alright.
man, 19s will do that.
Oculi things.
Oh my god. As you begin to do so, you begin to all say this, and Mako will look over and is like, right, whatever this fucking thing is, let's get this over with and kick this thing's ass and be, in the meantime, we'll figure I'm sure y'all will figure this whole thing out. As this sort of said, Spine Snap will kind of mention and say, I will try to remain calm, and I'm sure this will hopefully work this itself out. Whew, oh boy. Right. Seems to be that this is able to at least ease a bit of tensions from the initial sort of panic and concern for now, but we'll see if such a thing can hold them over for a long period of time. Regardless, as this is all said and done, Ilva, you eventually finish casting the likes of your spell, and as you do so, what does it kind of look like as you finish casting it ritually?
I didn't realize how big the map was, so that's the issue.
And you realize how close this damn tower is.
Yeah. So as she finishes the incantation or whatever, you'll it's almost like a shimmer. So anyone that's kind of looking this direction would see it. But it's like almost like a wave of light, and it kind of mimics like the surrounding lights from like the lamps, kind of like absorbs it, and like from the night sky, it kind of just makes it kind of like almost like reflective, and it goes all the way up and like try and surrounds as much as possible of the village, and then it kind of closes off at the top. You can see, so when it completes itself, instead of it like shimmering like almost like a wave back and forth, when it fully connects on each side, it stops. It's like solid, and you can't see the shimmering anymore.
As this begins to happen, spell is finally cast, and as you all witness this, Ova, do you join the likes of the other crew, or is there anything else you wish to seek to do?
No, I'll join the crew.
You got it. As you begin to fly off to the side and float down, you look over, and as Ova begins to sort of join, look over off towards the sort of spire for a moment. All of you, more so. And though it scales up in size and power, you do notice as there are, as Bovi mentioned, several bits of runes. Looking over towards it, you kind of all glance. The strange language or lettering none of you can kind of understand. but whatever it's saying a lot. Who knows what it could be? As you begin to clock this down, Misery, Zale, Creelan, Ilva, and Sirius. What would you all say or do at this moment in time?
So, everyone just be calm. Nothing bad's gonna happen. We're gonna figure it out. We can just all sleep past this, you know. Besides, panicking is only what they want from us. Of course, they'd want us to freak out with a giant tower.
Also, to complicate things, there is also another group of individuals headed towards us. And we're there to meet them at different locations so they don't come directly to the village, but they, depending on how things resolve, they may or may not be coming with us back.
Right.
They should meet us at the ruins.
So is this going to be like a sort of family picnic? Are we all going to go there and meet up and do a meet and greet, or
No,
It will only be us.
Yes. We have to determine the safety for not only ourselves, but also for you guys. If this group of individuals is deemed too dangerous to bring back, then we will not bring them back.
Onyx will begin to speak. And what would define as too dangerous?
You questioned our methods where we found you initially, and you asked us what the purpose of killing most of the people you were acquainted with to get to this hag and to get to the water weirds that were captured and the duality of it. If you had any problem with that, then think of these group of individuals as the wild card. Something that can't be predicted. Something that can't be assured. We know that one of their members of that group had killed one of their own. So it is best if we determine if their group has any possible future with ours. And just know that I value my safety and your safety above everything else.
See, this fate and fortune will begin to speak. So, you mean to tell me that one of them killed another one of theirs?
Oh, yes. One that was marked.
I don't know how I feel about that, but who's to say that they won't kill one of us? Or one of you all? You all are marked.
But that's why
Exactly.
we're interviewing them. If we see any more self-destructive behavior with them, they won't even know this place exists. It's a very simple process.
Oh, I understand that. Don't get me wrong, but it's more of good luck with that sort of convincing. That's all I will say, though.
We'll see how it goes. It's not 100% certain which direction it'll go. But I will make sure that nothing happens to you guys.
Oh, so, well, Miss Ilva, could I, sort of, just sort of hang out in the back, so, just in case sort of things, go real sort of left, I could just sort of bring my anchor on one of the heads and sort of kill him. I mean,
I love the enthusiasm, Mako, and truly, you were my number one pick. Who I thought, well, maybe they can come along.
as he does the thing, I'm like, yes.
But I think having someone as strong as you here would benefit and ease the people who are less strong than you. And besides, between you and now our newfound beast over there, I'm sure that alone, with your mighty anchor, is an intimidating presence all on its own.
He's dumb enough, he'll fall for this.
Yikes.
Be like, alright, I can understand that.
But truly, if any of them come out of line, just know I will call upon you.
Speaking of which, is there sort of, I remember, actually, I don't think Maker would probably access. I think it would be probably Spine Snap. You'll see a Spine Snap begin to say, speaking of which, I probably think that this might be a little bit helpful. You all have shown me at least a bit of hospitality, allowing me into your settlement, allowing me a place to sort of sleep and sell my wares. I figured I might return the favor. Have you ever heard of sending stones? They're a device capable of communication across long distances.
Yes, I'm aware.
I probably... It might be worth looking into, or maybe seeing if if I have the time, I might be able to look into that. So, just a way, a means of communication between the base, like here, and then whenever you all decide to go out and do your thing.
That's a solid idea. I think that's useful for what's coming down the pipe, especially with this tower and other group and everything else that's coming to shit flowing down our way. So if you could look into that, that'd be more than helpful.
It will take a bit of time, but I can begin to do so.
If there's anything that we could provide for you and making sure that happens, just let one of us know.
If it's not much, but 2 things, if I could request it. Well, I have my little makeshift shop and all that stuff, but I don't really have much of a room or an area to kind of make more inventions. Now, I am a fixer, as I mentioned before, so if there's any sort of mechanical enhancements or cyberkinetic enhancements that you would request, any of you, then I am the individual to talk to. But if I could have maybe like a laboratory or something, a workshop or something, then I think that would be very much helpful. And also, maybe even, not necessarily a training pit. Oh, I fucking want a training pit. More of something like a range to be able to practice capabilities. And he kind of looks over towards you, Zale. Something where, a little bit off to the side, where if someone wants to fire, a gun, they won't hit one of the other individuals or in the process.
I think that's more than fine. There are certain things that need to happen first, but we will be on the lookout for anything that could help with that. So, if that's what you need to help the community, then we'll look towards that. The first pressing thing would probably be just for everyone, but also just in case if we do get a new group of individuals, lodging must come first. But after that, as we go out and explore and look for materials to use for back home, that is definitely something that we can look into providing you.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else anybody needs to add? Or you guys all disperse?
I'm gonna look over to Zale And of course, this is sort of in the midst of all of the party members sort of assuring all of the residents of the town. Misery is going to basically step a little bit closer to Zale and sort of lean in and say quietly, just very quietly, like, I applaud your efforts of ensuring that nobody else here realizes the doom of everything that we have witnessed.
Misery will get a telepathic message into her mind, and he says, well, persuading people not to do awful things is one of my strong suits.
I'm a little torn between simply having them know the stakes of everything and go through the necessary process of calcifying their souls against it, or keeping that information away from them in the first place. Quite a quandary.
You will notice, I'd say Zale, Misery, or not, probably not Misery, but Zale, Sirius, and Kreelan make insight checks for me.
Alright.
Sure. Huh?
13.
Oh, damn.
Not Misery for this one. You probably wouldn't be able to pick up on it. You look over.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, at most, you would be able to notice as that one's kind of a little bit off, but that's about it. But Kreelan and Sirius, you'd look over and you'd see as Bovie throughout this entirety of it. He's been kind of quiet. I mean, he's still Bovie, but he's been kind of quiet overall. And you would notice as Kreelan, you're a little bit closer, kind of breathing a little bit louder, kind of shaking a bit. But Kreelan, you would definitely notice this sort of louder and louder sort of breaths at the overhearing of the past bit of news.
Hey, you.
Yes,
Question.
yes. Yes, Kreelan. Mm-hmm.
Those coconuts. How many do you have?
Good thing I didn't have my face come on. I just had to pop myself.
Well, I'll be honest, not enough. I need a cup. I need a bit more. Yes, I need a lot. I need a lot. You know what? We will throw a end of the world celebration. Yes. Because fuck it, we're all going to, sort of die anyways. Might as well. Yes.
Sirius would come over and set a hand on Bovie's shoulder. Bovie, we really get through this. I would really like to request your help in a lot of things here. I understand that you have a bit of a whimsical side to things, but I think we can do a lot to help each other.
Make a persuasion check, Sirius. Yeah. That one.
What a day.
You hear
The duality
as
of man.
Sirius, even though the words that you say are honest, they're genuine. Bovie's just they're just a tough nut to kind of get through to. You see, as they're hearing you, but they're not listening to you, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yes. We can do things. We'll be able to figure things out. Yeah. But who's with me? Who wants to go searching for a couple of coconuts, get a drink, and have a great old time? This is gonna be the best end of the world celebration Voden's ever seen.
Yes, let's just gather some coconuts.
So, Bovie, those are alcoholic beverages?
Yes, I told you this.
Yeah. And
Bovie,
I'll kind of lean over to Zale and say, well, sorry. Can't take my first drink with you.
Oh my god. Damn. Crying right now as we speak.
Wait, you didn't know they were alcoholic?
No, there was this strange taste and effect, but Could just been how the coconuts here are.
A little bit sweet, but that's the light stuff. See, I think I can figure out a little bit of druid craft to be able to enhance these things, give them a real kick. But I'm gonna need a bit of time.
Let us find them first, and after we find them, and I'll look over to Sirius. It's a question I must ask you before the night's end. No.
My door was open.
Give him a nod, and so where do we find them? And I'll point to the open space so Bovi can show me where to go.
Looking around and about, you'll see as he kind of points out a couple of directions, and it's really just all around. As Sirius, you would notice as more and more of the trees become a little bit more prevalent due to your plant growth, you would see as it's actually grown a couple of coconut trees as well. You would see as there's a couple of coconuts every now and again, and Bovi sort of points them out towards you. But as this is sort of happening, Misery, were you trying to say something?
Bovi, is it?
Oh, yes, I am Bovi Von Bovi. You are the, newest individual, Misery. Now you know that I have seniority and everything, so I mean, technically you answer to me.
Noted. But I do sincerely understand that you are the master of libations, as it were.
Yes, yeah, that... I like that title. I like that title a lot. Yes, I am.
I get an inside check to see if Bobby even understands what that word is.
I get an inside check. Oh, man. 24, he has no fucking clue. Just...
I say nothing.
Well, in which case, would you be willing to serve us up some libations?
As long as you're cool with it coming from a coconut, then sure, yes.
I have no preference as long as it will, as the saying goes, as long as it knocks me on my ass.
Oh, so you're looking for the good stuff. See, that's going to take a bit more time, but I can get you something light, and then the real fun begins.
How long does it take to make the good stuff?
Oh, only about 20-30 minutes at most. It's going to be mainly me finding a couple of the coconuts, but with Creelin's help, this should not take long at all.
She's going to look over to Creelin, and she's going to say, I trust that the both of you will be successful in your search for coconuts. And I'm going to whisper into Creelin's ear, work fast. I'm getting very bored. And I need alcohol.
Oh my gosh.
I'll give a little nod over to Misery, and I'll actually start working on it right away. You'll see me, like, whoever's next to me catching a face full of wings. I'll fly up and then get some coconuts.
Easy enough. As you begin to fly off, Bovi will begin to start heading over off to the side to find some coconuts alongside with you. With that, we head over towards Zale. What are you doing at this moment in time? Afterwards, we're going to head over to Ilva.
He's looking at Spinesnap with like a smile and just slowly nodding his head. It's time. It's time.
Okay, yes, it's time. It's time. Oh boy, I can't wait for this. All right, come.
I can't either. Just...
Oh goodness. Okay, so come with me. If this. Oh.
Yes, for safe location, of course.
All right. They're gonna pick over. Bovi, I hope you don't mind. We're going to be using that sort of area that you like to procure. Oh, you didn't say anything? Okay, wonderful. And you'll
That
see
means he agrees silently.
exactly, wonderful. And
Glad we're
as
on the same page.
as
What's
this
an
begins,
asshole?
as this begins to happen, you look over, and as Spine Snap begins to walk over with their little automaton Cornelius, Zale, you will see as Spine Snap will look over and begin to ruffle through their bags and belongings. Alright, so here's what this is. Oh boy. Alright, this is a simple device to use, but it is a very, very dangerous device. Over back in Tahiri, well, these devices had just only been, well, actually, hold on, make sure I got that right. No, that's wrong. This firearms in general had only just been emerging in the likes of Tahiri. This is a highly, highly advanced one, but it functions for the most part all the same. It requires more of shells and all this other stuff, as I've sort of mentioned towards you before. But here's the thing: these devices over in Tahiri, they were capable of causing mass destruction. Not necessarily, how do I say this? Mass destruction when multiple individuals wielded these in armies, per se. Do not, please, whatever you do, do not take this lightly, and do try to focus and be very, very serious about this matter.
Sure. Yeah, So, no, I got it. Don't worry, 100% focused.
Make a persuasion check, Zale. With disadvantage.
Yeah. What is disadvantage then? Is that control or is that shift?
That is control.
Oh, damn.
They will look over towards you, Zale. And as they do, it's just still a 12, but they will begin to place a hand onto your shoulder, and they will look you dead ass in the face and say, Zale, I understand you are most assuredly a powerful warrior. You are very capable and you are very confident, but these devices, they are capable of taking every last bit of that away from you, and anyone that is at the end of this barrel. Even just at least for the sake of this, please just pay attention, okay?
I will, don't worry.
Alright. And you'll see as they'll begin to load in a couple of these shells for a second. I made a couple of more just in case I feel that you are ready to use this. And you'll see as he will basically go through, for the sake of brevity, he'll go through kind of showing you the ins and outs of kind of like how to load the weapon, how to even take it apart and actually sort of construct it. As he also does so, he will tell you kind of how to sort of brace for the impact before eventually every last one of you off to the side, you would hear a massive sort of explosion, a sort of cracking sound off from the side, and you'd look over and see as Zale and Spine Snap are training before, okay, it's fine, and you go back to doing your own thing.
No, I freak out.
Hey, fair enough. Oh, man. That said, as he begins to do so, Zale, make an intelligence check. It's not necessarily for what you think, but just make an intelligence check.
Sure.
8.
Damn.
Yeah, he shows you kind of like how to dismantle the gun, how to clean it, and all that stuff, but you get the sense, for the sake of brevity again, that you probably won't be doing much dismantling. If you're gonna do anything dismantle or taking apart this thing, you're probably just gonna give it to him to do it. But as he begins to do so, he will begin to, alright, this should be the basics, at least for now. Here, you'll see as he begins to hand the shotgun towards you, and he'll say, alright, that tree over there. Fire it and let's see what you've got.
Sure, this... How close do I gotta be? I don't know how it works.
So for you, it's kind of just all flavor and thematics and all that sort of stuff. So you don't have to be a certain range. Just describe what would kind of Zale, or how would Zale go about using and trying to shoot a fucking double barrel shotgun for the first time. How would this go?
As Zale just like holds it, he kind of trying to mimic his spine snap's way of firing, but in his own way. His arm's a little crooked because he doesn't. He's getting used to the weight. He's like just trying to. He blinks for a second and then realizes, oh, that actually doesn't help with A, and he just. His fingers on the trigger, but then he just slowly starts to calm his breath, and he just pulls the trigger and fires it.
As soon as you do so, almost explosion begins to emanate. Zale, make a strength saving throw.
Oh boy.
Not the knockback.
Oh, it's the knockback. A 12. That's pretty good. You are blown backwards as you hold it with both hands, almost sent flying back into the tree from the sheer amount of force from it. Your arms begin to start ringing for a second, but it was a lot more kick than you necessarily expected. As you do so, Spine Snap will look over and say, that is the nature of this weapon. Now imagine if, well, you were on the opposite side of it. It would not be pretty. Looking over towards the tree, you'll see as it's completely almost eviscerated from the shells.
Oh my. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be on the other side of that.
So, let's hope that the starry ones will be on the other side then, right?
You're right.
And with that, you'll see as Spine Snap will begin to continue showing you the ins and outs, but eventually, over the course of several minutes, you'll see as he begins to conclude and say, alright, well, I have a couple of things that might come into play. I will give you just 4 shells for now. We can test them out, and once I think that you are capable enough to be able to get the others, then we can talk. I don't mean to treat you like a child. I know you're not a child, but these things are... Back home in Tahiri, when I was over in... Oh god, almost forgot the name. Coming to me. Can't remember
Arophia?
Nope, not that one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so not the Borderlands.
There we go. I got it. It took me a while. Once I was like, once I was in Atolan, the city in the sky of Tahiri. My kin taught me the ins and outs of it. They did the same to me, and though I hated my brothers for doing so, I have to at least do the same for you or any individual that I would teach the likes of how to use a firearm. It does prove useful. You're a lot more powerful than me, so at least you'll maybe do a little bit more work with it. So, if there's any sort of modifications you want to this thing or any additions, then I can do so, but let's start off small and basic for now.
Spine Snap, you may be more I might be more powerful than you, but you're way smarter than me, and I'd say that's being more powerful than me. After all, you're the one who taught me how to use this.
I guess you're right.
You should undersell yourself.
Sorry, it's a force of habit due to everything, but thank you. I appreciate that. Right, so I'll leave you to it. I have a couple more rounds, but if you want to finish training later, that is also fine.
Sure, definitely. Would love that.
That, see, as your training begins to continue on or conclude, but we head over back towards the likes of... make sure I got this right. I'm pretty sure it was Ilva, correct? Yes. Ilva, as we look over towards you, what are you saying or doing in this moment in time?
Seeing everyone kind of go their separate ways, looking for coconuts to firing off firearms to all that fun stuff. I'm gonna summon Bob the Builder.
You got it. As you begin to summon Billy Boy, you begin to slowly hear a hup, 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 before eventually Bilroy, the Builder Spirit, begins to slowly form in front of you. I'll sort of salute and just be like, "Hello, Soulbound reporting for duty."
Oh, hi, right. Is there a possible way you could give me an updated list of what we have, Bilroy?
Are you referring to your resources, or are you referring to the things that you can build?
Resources, please.
Sure thing. Also, you're gonna want to do something real quick for me. You've been missing out on a couple of sort of the quarries sort of stuff, so you may want to go check up on that in a bit. For that, here's what I need you guys to do. I need you. I believe it's 3d6. I could be wrong. I just gotta confirm that. But
4 now, right, Max?
I think it's 4.
Is it 4 now? Okay. So yeah, you're gonna want to roll for that, and I believe that's to your wisdom modifier. So roll the 4d6, and let me go find the other part for it.
Rolling 46. Plus wisdom modifier, sorry?
I believe so. Add in a second. No, not for this one. It's that's for the medicine thing or food thingy. So just
okay.
4d6. Nice, that's pretty good. To be fair.
One, no.
Yeah, you can use inspiration to re-roll any dice. So if you do want to re-roll the 1s or 2s with inspo, then by all means do it now.
Hey, Ducky.
Yeah,
Take my inspo for that one.
1d6.
Fuck it up.
Yeah.
Ooh, there we go.
17.
17. Nice. That's gonna be huge. All right, I will get you guys your material list in 1 second. Let me just look it up. Splash screen, resources. So you should have a decent amount of materials. Yes. A lot. All right. You guys actually might be at the maximum. Nope. Right below it. You guys have 34 out of 35 materials.
Wow.
Wait, how many soul coins do we have?
You have 21 out of 35. You guys have money.
Nice.
Shit, that's a lot more than I expected. Hold on.
Your boy.
Now, granted,
It's hard being rich.
Don't feel pressed to like have to tell me like in session of what you want to build. If there's, I'd rather you can just tell me like after the fact, right? But if there's anything that you as a party want to discuss on whether you want to build, by all means you can do that in the session. But you don't feel like you have to like hurry up and get this done now. You know what I mean?
You said we have 21 soul coins?
Yes, 21 soul coins.
I can't have access to. I don't have access to like the splash screen for the mark. So can you put that down in the chat, please?
The resources.
Yeah, just for us.
Gotcha. I can just do this real quick. Some of these are not as accurate, so like for the Ascent and Valley, I think Valley should be accurate, Rhyme should be accurate, but the Ascent probably isn't accurate.
Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna do this. Alright, I'm good here.
Easy enough.
Bilroy, is there any method of converting materials into something else?
So yes, there is, but you haven't built it yet. Let me sort of start looking through and make sure I got this right. Where is it? He's gonna hold on. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna look over for it. Blah blah blah. No. There it is. I'm pretty sure it's that one. So here's what it is. You can turn a couple of only certain resources into certain other things. This mana generator, well, not mana generator, but more so mana container, whatever you want to call it. The basic version doesn't really do much. It just sort of gives you an expanded like storage of mana and being able to create sort of how you say anything arcane. Like anything arcane wise and be able to make buildings out of them and all that stuff. You know, automatic doors or walls that shoot flamethrowers and all this other stuff, right? So if you want to build the advanced version on top of that, that could be actually or a means of being able to convert such as food, resources, soul coins, materials, and all that stuff into mana.
So it's just mana.
For right now. But if there's anything that you want to request, anything specific, then I can always go talk to the others and try to make that up for you. Try to do some schematics.
Schematics to build or just for trading of materials? Sorry.
Oh, just anything to build. So if you have an idea of like, I don't know, like something that we just sort of don't have listed here or we didn't think of, then by all means pitch us the idea and we'll get on it.
I don't think that's necessary at this very moment. I have an idea of what I want to build, but I'll wait for just out of game just to make sure it's good.
All good. So in game, basically, you would
We're definitely building something.
Yeah, Ilva and Bilroy, you'd begin to discuss like all the things that you're sort of building, constructing, and all that sort of stuff. Bilroy will give you the tax and yada yada yada.
The tax.
But
Like Kane's tax?
maybe.
Damn.
Oh,
Oh man. But as this begins to happen, Ilva, is there anything else you'd wish to do?
No, I'm just hanging out with Bilroy.
You got it. All right. So return for our last individual, Sirius and Misery. Is there anything you two find yourselves doing, or are you guys just sort of exploring the likes of your little base and writing a couple of stuff down, doing as you do?
Wait, no. For one, I'd talk to Misery. Misery, for if you require any more lodging, I believe we can set it up on something that can be temporary. Our last companion, Farmer, we do not know about their whereabouts. But seeing as they're most sort of an automaton, I think for at least the time being, you can take residence there until you want to maybe have your own and personalize it in any way you want.
Misery's going to nod. And she's going to go ahead and say, well, I've had the opportunity to meet a handful of the residents here. But if I'm already in the position of taking over somebody's bed, I won't argue.
If you need anything else besides the alcohol, which is probably coming soon, please do not hesitate to find us. I think. Go ahead.
With the day that we've had, I think the alcohol will do. But I do sincerely appreciate the offer. I just need to get hammered.
Quite understandable. I might partake in that a little bit later. What? I'm talking! Why am I talking?
I'm doing it. I am using your soul. But yes, is there anything like immediate that you guys would need to sort of say before we or head off?
I kind of have two things here, unless Matt, you want to do something? Or is that just it?
I'm good.
Okay. For one, Sirius will kind of depart and head towards the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And with the mana crystals in hand, well, not the mana crystals, but the crystals holding the souls of the water weirdlings, he is going to release them into there.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. As you begin to do so, you just begin to pour all the crystals out into the water, and you'd see as slowly forming up. The water weirdlings would begin to look over, begin to immediately just joyously begin to kind of dive in and out of it before looking over and sort of nodding and thanking you. They have gracious smiles as they are no longer in pain, and as they begin to do so, for the sake of brevity, they begin to look over and say, We will tell the Queen of your work. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
It's my pleasure to aid those that are living.
And as
Good day
that's,
to you.
and as that is said, you'll see as they begin to continue off and go into the likes of the sea.
And with that, I kind of want to do a thing with my star map.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the knowledge of all the places that we visit, could I, in fact, add that as an actual map to my star map?
Yeah, you could easily do that. So make sure I got this right. Just anywhere you visit, that's going to be also on your star map, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
Okay. So, like, in a matter of thematic series, while walking off the water, the star map will kind of hover up, and again, in the form of like a scroll, he'll just roll it out, holding in his hands, and with the power of, I guess, the thought, he'll, like, with his mind, reconfigure the constellations that are slowly swirling in it, and have them both simulate paths that him and his companions have taken, and to the landmarks that he has seen, almost each star kind of resembling a note of what was there, what was experienced, and what was gathered.
And as you begin to do so, you mark it onto your map, with it growing the likes of knowledge and information. We zoom out the oasis for a bit. We'll return back next time, the likes of secrets in the sands. Thank you guys again for being able to play for today. Just so special shout out to all the players, special shout out to all the people who were watching in the background. But I'm gonna go break down stream. If you guys gotta get going, by all means get going. I will be right back after breaking everything down. All right.
Here.
Okay. All right, thank you guys again for everybody who was able to tune in to watch for the stream. You guys are freaking awesome as usual. Thank you for all the raids, thank you for all the follows and more as we were able to hit our follow goal. But also, if you haven't done so already, make sure to join in on the YouTube side of things and make sure to go like the video and sub over there. It does help us out tremendously, so please go do so. Also, make sure to join the Discord as it does if you want to get involved with the likes of the players, the community, and more. We're also on all sorts of social media, so follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff, and you guys will find me at SenseiSuplex or underscore Key Thompson, I believe, on Instagram, and all that sort of good stuff. But I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for the likes of Valley of Dreams at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and for now, I will see you guys next time. All right, bye guys.